Previously on Sailing Terrapin, we explored the island of Islay, Scotland, and visited 3 distilleries. Then we hit the beach to celebrate Calla's birthday. Landed on the Isle of Gigha, and Terrapin is on a mooring. Sailed up from Port Ellen. It took about 5 hours. Forecast was for 10 to 15, and we had probably 15 to 22. And it's nice and sunny, and we're going for a hike up the hill. Hello. You sure are pretty. Well, hello. You are so pretty. I don't think you can come out though. Gigha is an interesting island, about 7 miles long and half a mile across. It's been inhabited since prehistoric times. In the 18th century, there were about 700 residents on Gigha, but during the 20th century, there were numerous owners of the island who caused numerous issues that resulted in a significant population decline. Currently, there are only 160 residents on the island, and in 2002, they became the very first community buyout in the UK, so it's owned and operated by its own residents. Gigha is also known for its beautiful botanical gardens and abundant wildlife. It's only about a 30-minute drive and a ferry ride from Glasgow. After walking around Gigha for a couple days, we dropped our mooring ball and headed for another anchorage just a little further north. It is a beautiful day in the Sound of Jura. We have the island of Gigha that we just left over there behind us, and then the island of Jura to our north, and Kintar to our south. And we are leaving Gigha from this Ardmenish Bay here, and we're currently right there. And we are heading up to probably to Crinan, past Loch Sween, up to Crinan Bay here. We'll see how the tides and the wind goes. We were supposed to have wind behind us, but we're currently only 30 degrees off, and it's so light we're motoring. So we have about 20 miles left to go to Crinan. Lots of little anchorages along the way if we do want to stop. But pretty fun to be just motoring along the coast in Scotland.
So we anchored across from the Crinan Canal in Gallanach Bay. The next morning, after a peaceful night, we took the dinghy across the bay into a boggy little area, walked up a hill, and were able to see into the Sound of Jura. Picking up the anchor is a fairly stressful process. You want to pick it up fast enough so that you're able to get the anchor off the bottom of the ocean while your helmsman is able to motor forward so that the boat doesn't drag backwards once the anchor comes up. In this situation, I was taking off the snubber, which is attached to the anchor, and brought the anchor off the bottom, or so I thought. All of a sudden, the windlass stopped working, which is, unfortunately, one of our worst nightmares. I ran down below to make sure that the motor was still functioning correctly, nothing was smoking, nothing was burned, and found that the battery connections had corroded over the winter. I quickly grabbed some sandpaper, cleaned off the battery connections, and ran up back on deck and brought the anchor the rest of the way up. High adventure, something we didn't need first thing in the morning.
Leaving Gallanach Bay, we sailed north to Craobh Harbor, crossing tidal streams and rocks that were just under the surface as the tide moved in.
Walk me in the morning sun, tell me I'm a lucky one. I'm riding on the wave of an ocean that I could be brave. Is there anything good on the radio? Turn it up loud and let me know how it used to be before anyone heard of you and me. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling great. Running out of town just to celebrate. The fortune's here to stay. A one-way ticket to a better day. A rocking chair and a glass of wine. In the shade of a tree and I'm feeling fine. There's not a lot to add.
We found our slip at Craobh Marina and settled in for a fun weekend with the Ocean Cruising Club's Scottish Open House. The OCC is an organization that accepts members who are recommended by a current member and who have sailed a qualifying ocean passage of at least 1,000 miles nonstop. We've been members of the OCC for a few years, but this was our first European event, and we were looking forward to it. The guest speaker for the weekend was the legendary Reverend Bob Shepton, who gave a presentation about his epic sail in 2017 around Antarctica and South Georgia. It was great to meet Bob and hear his stories firsthand. If you haven't already done so, you definitely should check out his book, Addicted to Adventure.
Really, 7 turned out to be too.
The rest of the weekend included walks around Craobh. There was a breathtaking view in every direction.
I'm chasing shadows around the place. It shouldn't take long now in any case. As long as there is light, pretending I could stay the night. One breath away. Step up and say, hold on to what is real. The love you feel is like water in a glass. Don't try to separate the ones you hate from the ones that you don't know.
After the weekend came to a close, it was time to be on the move again. This time we were headed to Oban. Next week on Sailing Terrapin, we explore the island of Craobh and then we go across the bay to the city of Oban, where we walk through the city streets and up to McCaig's Tower for the best panoramic.
Brings me down.